Looking at the big picture, it's really helpful, but sometimes you need to dig a little deeper. That's where high-level reporting tools come in. Because HighLevel is an all-in-one platform showing you your CRM, your sales, your leads, your analytics, your website views, even your advertising stats, having your reports built in the same system has a huge amount of value, and you have a ton of data that you can pull from. Recently, I did another video all about your dashboards. Dashboards are the screen within HighLevel that you can land on, customize, pre-build, even have multiple dashboards for different views and different analytics and different KPIs, which are great. However, what happens when you have somebody in your company, in your team, maybe even a client that doesn't sign into HighLevel? The dashboards become a bit obsolete. This is where reports come in. Reports have all of the same features that you find on your dashboard analytics, but you can build them into very pretty reporting to send out to board members or, like I said, even to send out to clients. You can build multiple reports so you can customize them to the KPIs, the key performance indicators that you're actually looking to rank for, and include your goals. So these don't just show you how your business feels, it shows how you're actually performing. I'm Catherine Ferris, owner of Marketecs and Marketecs Engine, and today I'm going to show you all the reports inside of HighLevel and how you can build them and use these features to make smarter, faster decisions, show your value, and prove results without needing spreadsheets or a data analyst. So let's dive in and take a look. All right, here we are inside of HighLevel, or better yet, our version of HighLevel, Marketecs Engine. And over here on the left-hand side, I'm getting closer to the bottom here. Under reputation, above the at marketplace is reporting. And what you'll notice in reporting is that there's a few options across the top here. There is custom reports, which is part of where we're going to spend our time today, probably the most of our time today, because it's what I like the most. But there are some pre-built options here as well. There is a Google Ads report. If you have your Google Ads account connected, you can come in here and pull up your Google Ads report. Then there's a Facebook Ads report. There's an attribution report, and you'll see there's some default widgets in here. There's a call report, an agent report. And if you watched our last video all about the dashboards, these should almost look similar, like these are widgets on a page, right? Because they are similar. They are pulling from the same information. But as I said in my intro, we're actually going to build these reports in a way that they can be delivered to anybody's inbox, which is the value here under reporting. There's an appointment report, and you'll notice that there is insights here. You can choose an actual dashboard. These are directly connected to your dashboard. So you can choose a specific dashboard to bring into these. You can look at specific calendars. You can look at date added versus start date. There's different filters that you can add here under reporting. And you can generate marketing audit reports as well. So going back over some of these other ones, again, we have our date range, which I talked about in our last video. This is important because as you're looking at these numbers, you want to make sure you have the correct range. If you were looking to find out how many appointments or how many calls you had this year or this month, you would want to make sure you had that correct date range in there to get the correct numbers. But where I really want to focus today is this custom reporting. And we actually have a couple of custom reports pre-built that we deliver along with Marketecs Engine to any of our users. And these have to do with a lot of the standard information that our users usually ask for. Things like website traffic, things like lead generation reporting. So let's start by looking at report number 1. Now I can click on it to open it. I also want to click on these 3 little dots over here and just show you that there is permissions, just like our dashboard. You can set this as to whether it's going to be a private report or whether you're going to give access to different levels of users. Now I'm going to click to open this report. And what you're going to see here is that this, while it has a lot of the same information as our dashboards, it definitely looks different. And it looks different than all of those other screens that we were on, where we were still looking at the widgets with the screen on the reporting screens. This looks more like a report. This can be exported as a PDF, and this can be delivered to somebody's inbox. So these are really what I talk about when I talk about reporting. These are what I like. So when you come in here, I usually start with a cover page. And if you go to these little page properties over here on the right-hand side, you can open this up and you can see that you can actually add the client's logo or your company logo right here. You can choose whether the title is shown or not, the date, dividers, and whether you even show this cover page or not. And the report title right up here at the top is what's going to show right here on the front page. So that's configuring your cover page. Now, as we scroll down, you'll notice you can add new pages. You can also delete pages right here. Now, these should look very similar to our widgets, both in reporting widgets and in our dashboards, because they are. They're essentially the same thing. And if you click the three little dots, you get the edit options. The panel just opens to the left instead of to the right like it did in the dashboard. But all of this should look very similar. And we've got widgets, elements, themes, and custom metrics, just like we had in our dashboard widgets. We have configure, conditions, and themes, again, just like our dashboard. In this case, we have funnel views, contact counts, emails opened, appointment counts, and emails clicked. This is an overview of these are all the stats that you might be interested in for your account over the last month. And this is currently looking at a month. And if I pull it up as a year instead, because this is a demo account, so we do not have a lot of contact information in here, but you'll see that those numbers go up a little bit and you can even see some of the information there. Now I have this widget open in the edit side, so you can see that I can actually change the title here. This is total funnel views. It's based on the count of page views, not the count of opt-ins, but I could change that if I wanted to. And I labeled it as views, not as opt-ins. I would label it as opt-ins if that were the case. Then under advanced, I have the date that they visited on, and I have the report date range versus a set date range, which you could actually override the report date range if you wanted to say, this is total views over the year, and then duplicate this widget and have total views during the date range, which is typically a month. And we even called this a monthly report. And then in this case, I did a comparison, and that's where you see this 100% increase and in over the last date range. All right, and then we have the same thing with our contact count, emails opened, emails clicked. So this is an overview. We have a title page, and then I did an overview page here. Now, scrolling down, we have Google Analytics reports. This is typically a high profile piece. Most of our clients want to know how much traffic they're getting. How many visitors are they getting to their site? Because then we want to be able to calculate how many of those are converting and actually becoming contacts in the system. And Facebook ads and Google ads reports. How much are we paying for those leads and for that traffic? And then the actual number of leads. So we're going to be able to see how much traffic's coming in, how much we're paying for it, and then how many leads is that resulting in. And then finally, the funnel matrix. So you've got page views versus opt-ins. And then clicked emails. This can be another big indicator for us. We want to see not just how many leads have we brought into the system, but then how many of those people are actually opening, but better yet, clicking on the data that we're sending them. Those clicks are what are hopefully going to turn into sales and new customers. And those clicks often lead to appointments. So appointment counts also become very important data to track.
I'm interrupting this video to make sure that there is no confusion about HighLevel or about how to work with me. If you want to try HighLevel but don't want to waste months trying to figure it out, I have two very clear options for you to consider. If you're looking to build an agency or a SaaS business, head over to marketecs.com/HighLevel. By using our affiliate link, which costs you nothing, you will get the following bonuses. Our Marketecs Engine Core Snapshot. This is all of the features that we install in every new Marketecs Engine user account, and we're giving it to you for free as an affiliate. Our onboarding guides and access to our private community. An invitation to join our weekly live office hours, where I personally will answer questions and even share tips that I've learned throughout the week. And I'm constantly learning. There is so many new features and things to learn in this industry as a whole, not to mention within the HighLevel platform. Plus, we'll give you our additional templates, checklists, and migration guide. That's option number one. Option two is if you are a business owner just looking to improve your own tech stack and you don't want to do it alone. You would like a trusted strategic partner in your corner that speaks the language, brings you time-tested automations, proven strategies, and up-to-date learning. Then go to marketexengine.com and book a consultation with me to learn more about our high-level agency, Marketecs Engine, and joining our ecosystem. I'm also currently offering discounts on one-on-one consulting to any of our affiliates and high-level users. So whether you're building an agency or building a business, pick your path and let's drive results. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
So you can see here if this was a monthly report being sent to a client that would tell them how many leads, how much they had paid, how much traffic they had gotten, how many appointments they had gotten. At a glance, this is really good information being sent in a report that looks very professional. I know for us personally, we used to pay for reporting software that was costing anywhere from $50 to $150 a month just to get this information in a nice format that was presentable to clients and not just a Google sheet. So this is one version of a monthly report. Now I'm going to go back out and go over the second version of a monthly report we have here, which we call our monthly KPIs. This one has a couple of different elements in it where we actually include the goals as well as some other things that I just wanted to quickly share with you here. So we would put the client logo in and leave all of the other title page information basically here as it is. And then we have these company goals. And this is just a text field that we put in. And you can add any widgets or elements that are not already here with this little plus sign over on the left-hand side. And so this is where we went to elements and we added a text box. And when we put this text box in, we can actually edit this just like you can a Word doc or an email or anything else. We put in what are our goals so that we have some information to compare the rest of the data on this page to. So we have impressions, we have leads, we have calls booked, and then basically sales that we're looking for. Then we're going to have this overview page where we talk about total contacts to date, new contacts for the month, website views as well, total website views as well as unique, total funnel views versus unique, total opt-ins versus lead magnet opt-ins, and then appointment counts. So all of those lead back into these goals and assumptions. Now we go a little bit deeper into each one. If we look back, website views and unique website views, reiterate those numbers here. And then we have a trend graph that's going to show the actual where these numbers came from. Then we reiterate the funnel numbers and we have a trend graph showing where these numbers came from. Reiterating the opt-ins, and then we're going to have a list of the opt-ins by source and where they came from. We have the appointments, and again, a list of the appointments. So you can actually see if this said, yep, you reached your 8 appointment goal this week. Here's the 8 people that booked appointments. And then you could even see, okay, which one of them were no-shows, which one of them were, oh, I booked that one myself, and really get a feel for how much of this came from the marketing efforts. And then finally, we have another text element here where we added some important links. We would put a link to the actual Google Analytics during the same time period so that if somebody wanted to go cross-reference, they could. And we sometimes put a link to help people understand the analytics and the statistics that they're looking at here on this report. And of course, you can add anything else you wanted to this. You just would enter and add the new information there and then hit save. So this is just another setup, another example of how we would build a monthly report for a client. All right, so I showed you the add widget. I showed you the manage permissions, as well as there is the page list. And outside of that, there's not a whole lot more on here. You can export, and this would allow you to export to a PDF. And then there's the send or schedule option. And this is where you could pre-schedule this report to go out to anybody in the system. So with the send or schedule option, you can see here, you can select a schedule frequency, monthly, weekly, quarterly, annually, however you want to do that. You can set the date range, the comparison range. You can use widget level settings, say who it's from, change the subject line, and then select who it's going to and include a message. Schedule and save. And now you'll see when I come back out to my report list that this one is not scheduled and this one is scheduled for weekly. All right, those are the 2 reports that we've built and quite often use and just customize per client. The other option is to build a new custom report. And from the new custom report, you'll notice, again, if you watched our dashboard video, that this looks very similar to building a new dashboard. You can create from blank. There is a template library. You can also clone existing. An added option here is you can actually create from a dashboard. So any of the dashboards that we already have set up, we can turn these into a report. Again, you have that internal view. You can go to your dashboard anytime you want, but you also have this report that you can deliver to people. So from our template library, you'll notice we have the same options as we did from the dashboard library, the dashboard templates. If I want to choose this template, this lead attribution template, we'll take a look at it really quickly as a report in comparison to a dashboard itself. Here is the lead attribution and overview report. You can see it lays out all these widgets for you. You can edit them, you can move them, you can do whatever you want with this. It's just giving you a starting point. Now, in comparison, if we go back to our dashboard, we did the same thing with our dashboard where we added that lead attribution template, and you can see we have very similar data just laid out here on a screen versus being laid out in a report. And if I go back to reporting, you'll notice I now have that lead attribution, which I can come back to. And in some ways, some people may prefer to even look at their reporting this way, coming into reports versus going to the dashboard. But I see these most impressive as being able to send them out. And here is where you would add that logo, which also looks very nice. Okay, that is your overview of reporting, as well as the differences between reporting and the dashboards. They are very similar, but I can't stress enough that these reports save me a whole nother program. Being able to create really nice looking reporting to be able to send out to my clients just enabled me to get rid of one more thing that I wasn't expecting when I signed up for HighLevel. I hope you find the same. I hope you're able to customize your reports. I hope you're able to put in all the KPIs that you want to keep track of and that your clients want to keep track of. If you have a really good use case or something else that I didn't share around reporting, feel free to leave a comment. I hope you'll like the video if you found it valuable, and I hope you'll subscribe to the channel to catch our next videos. Thanks.